times build character.
This isn't just a show, this is real life. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
You gotta see it before anyone else can see it.
Every second, every minute, every day.
We train for life. We got you.
And welcome back, everybody, the Relentless Way podcast, episode number 10. We are live today in the facility. We have some of our members working out behind us, getting it in early on this Friday morning. This episode will be released on Sunday, the 13th of November. So you are getting a little preview, backstage live recording. I'm here obviously with my good friend and longtime partner, Matt Strout. Today we are going to just kind of wrap it up a little bit in the facility, talk to some members. It is Q&A the Relentless Way. We're going to have some good questions coming in. We'll catch them as they're coming by, whoever wants to take part. If you do have any questions, we are live on Facebook right now. Go ahead on Facebook and feel free to ask any questions. Just type in the comments box below and let us know. So how are we feeling today, man? We're live in the facility. This is episode number 10 of season 2. It's been a long time coming. You're good. You're good to go.
No, I'm good. I'm nervous.
You want to come in the shot? No. You're
Hillary
fine.
has me up before Jesus. So we're
There we go.
That's all right, though. It's amazing to see what you could do with connecting with people and pull some things out in them that they don't even know that they have in themselves. But there's a great example right there, right? Like, she maybe has never even thought about getting up this early and starting her day this way, but you connect with people, you give them a little juice, you let them believe, you believe in them, they believe in you, and you give us a shot, and then all of a sudden it starts evolving in life, it starts becoming part of your lifestyle. So that's just a great example right there, you could feel it. But definitely excited to be up in here today. I think it's cool to highlight and show the facility, show the interaction, show the human connection that we've been able and blessed to create with all different walks of life. From starting our days very early and some days staying very late, you know, they're all different walks of life. So it's going to be an exciting day, different. We're always trying to be innovative, so we're going to have some fun. We're excited for it.
Yeah. We open at 6 a.m. So the crew starts rolling in around 5:55. That opening coach is here always a little earlier, ready to greet them, ready to get rolling. And as you can see, this is a prime time energy-wise. You know, we have probably about 7 or 8 floor members going on, working out their supervised training program, a couple PTs going on. Coaches will start rolling in. You'll see some action pick up. Looking forward, we have a nice solid 7 a.m. conditioning class with Coach Hillary, which is going to be starting in a couple minutes. So she's going to get them set up and spaced out. Good morning, Jules. Good morning. How we doing?
Good morning.
So yeah, I guess our main reason kind of to bring it in the facility today, as you know, we usually record in our studio. At a Dante's Cafe. It's a beautiful setting there. We could always set up different angles in the back and make sure we're mixing it up for people that are watching it on YouTube and checking us out. But I think the most important thing and the main reason is we want people that are listening, maybe from far or maybe even from near that haven't been in the facility, to really get a feel for what not only our morning looks like, but kind of what goes on and what the energy is in here. Also to continue to hear our voices and listen to, you know, what we have going on and join in the conversation. Of course, you have the opportunity to comment below. Brian and I are keeping an eye on Facebook Live, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to hop in and chat it up a little bit. Bring them through a little bit of kind of how we got to this point of, you know, we are in here early right now.
Yep.
How we got to this point of being open this early, why it's so important for our members and for our community.
Yeah, I'm going to lead into that, but I wanted to talk about the mission of originally starting the podcast was to always connect with human beings, and I think this season where we picked up really interacting with more people has been a really cool opportunity. Good morning,
Good morning, Al.
It's been a really cool opportunity because I think it started with just you and I, which kind of got us going, and it was a really good opportunity for us to kind of start flowing and building some camaraderie amongst each other in this setting. But this season, bringing on some guests and bringing in the Q&As from different people has really expanded us personally, and I think it's also allowed us to connect with people even more. You know, and it's starting to expedite the vision, the mission, and the brand of Relentless. And I think that's all we're trying to do. So I think by bringing people in today, it just does that once yet again, you know? So it brings it to another setting. Good morning. It brings it to another setting to kind of feel it, you know? So now to kind of feel this energy, to see people, see the walks of life, see the interactions from the second people walk in until they leave. The morning is a funny, probably dynamic along our journey because, number one, we didn't start this early by any means. Number two, I'm generally not really a morning guy myself. I don't mind sleeping in a little bit and start my day slow and nice. But, you know, when I sit and I put the vision in sight for myself and I create the standard at which I believe that I want myself to be living inside of and my loved ones around me, I know that it's not the answer, right? Like I got to get up, I got to attack the day. Like every day is a big day. So throughout the journey, we've had a lot of great conversations, and there was a moment that we talked about the other day. Actually, we were reflecting, but there was a moment where, you know, we were open up, I think around like 8 or 9, you know, for a while, and there was a moment where a local facility was going shutting down. And they had a big 6 a.m. push through. And we knew that we wanted to connect. Good morning.
Morning, Karen.
Good morning. We knew we wanted to connect with these people. We knew they were extremely dedicated and connected to each other at the 6 a.m.s. And, you know, we had a talk. And in the beginning, it was a little almost like aggressive in a way where, like, I was being a little bit more like, I don't know if we should do this. And deep down, subliminally, I'm like, I don't think we should do this because I don't want to get up that early. But we talked, and that's why Paul and I have been so connected, because we hold ourselves, to a high standard. We hold each other accountable. We remind each other who we truly are deep down and what we've always been looking to do in the long term. And we call each other out. We'd be honest with each other. We had a great conversation, and long story short, that conversation led to us starting to open up at 6 a.m. So from there, it was, 1 or 2 days a week, and then it just became Monday through Friday, now 6 a.m. And, we pride ourselves. That was the beginnings. We come in now just at 6 a.m. just to come in. So it's like, it used to just be for that individual purpose of us delivering a service. Now it's more just about being here. I look forward to coming in sometimes at 6 a.m. and not having an actual responsibility, but just kind of walking through the facility and feeling it from the people's standpoint. So kind of walking in and just looking, assessing, seeing how we're doing things now. They say you're always running two businesses, the business you are and the business you're becoming. So I think us understanding the vision at all times. I'll see you later. Great job. Us understanding the big vision at all times and making sure that we're constantly striving to get to that place and to be operating at that level is the way that we need to be. So to be able to come in and look at it from fresh, different eyes is always cool. Look at things we're doing and anything that we think we could tighten up or make better. So definitely a big evolution for us, but I think it's definitely for the better.
Yeah, and to point out too, I mean, it was to Matt's story, it was on both ends where there was a group of coaches, some the same as today, some a little different, that have helped us grow through our journey. Some close friends of ours that have moved on to different career paths or different places in their lives. But it was understanding and respecting people's time and what works for them, and putting in our days and our schedule that we would be flexible and we would be there for them whenever they needed us, especially at the point we were at in our growth and in our journey personally as coaches and as leaders, of understanding that, hey, some people are going to want to work out at 8, 9 p.m. and we're going to make sacrifices and do things to help them better themselves and better their lives, right? Mm-hmm. And same thing goes for in the morning, as he told,
Yep.
So it's just all around is listening to our community, listen to our members, listen to our team and our coaches, but most importantly, really being open, having open ears for your peers and for your teammates, right, that are working hand in hand next to you. I'm going to highlight a little bit of something that we've really focused on as of recently. The last year, when I say recently, the last year or so, is leveling ourselves off with our team members and with our coaches. And it could be very easy to kind of get ahead and get higher and feel like you're in a position to point your fingers, and that's not the way that we lead. And not that we were ever getting there, but we needed to focus more on not being that defined rather than even potentially being looked at as that ever. So now more than ever, we are one unit all together with our team, our community, our facility. It's open forum. I reference a lot to a good friend of ours who works at Matita. He's an assistant superintendent there, and he talks to us a lot about the type of membership that they have. And it's a very, very exclusive membership, mainly financially. You know, it costs a lot to be a part of it, but also the way that they make their decisions is community-based. They have a board, they have a community. So if there's 100 people, they all have a voice, and they all, if they want something done, they step up and they voice it, or they step in and they make it happen, right? And then the team that falls under in that is leading the way, which would be our Relentless coaches, really brings everything to life and helps the community and members bring that to life too. So, we're excited to be in here. As you can see right now, we have our 7 a.m. 7 a.m. small group getting started. A couple of the members are spread out in their stations, and Coach Hillary is coaching them up. We'll call on someone in a little bit to come and ask a question. Thinking Karen. I know Karen Farrell's got some good questions. She loves it.
Karen's an admin.
Not Karen, not you, Karen Farrell. We know you don't want to be on there. Yeah, right. Once Karen's done with her workout back there, she's gonna come up and ask us a question. I know she's got some good ones for us as always. Right now, if you could see in the shot, Brian, can we see the floor coach back there or no? What, the board? Kind of. Yeah. So there's a board back there. It's our supervised training board. Just reminds our members of things to do, during their workout, during their time, what's available for them, that the coaches are always there for them. And at the bottom is a nice big bold print, the coach that's on the floor during that time. That coach is there to help them at any time that they need it, to answer any questions they have, and to correct their form, give them more things to add to their workout, whether it be emotional support, verbally, or even to cue them and help them with some things going on.
Yeah, I want to tap into a little bit what you talked about earlier, just about the leadership based from ourselves to our team to our community, because it's definitely, leadership comes from the top down. So I think every brand should stand for something, right? And I think as the Relentless brand stands for leadership, it stands for problem solving, and excuse me, I think. And it starts with the top and it works its way down. And I think, like Paul highlighted earlier, the dedication that we've made to ourselves personally and then directly next would be in line with our team, I think has allowed us to evolve dramatically over the past year of just taking the time to really know our team, who they are as individuals first, and then who they are as a Relentless coach and who they aspire to be. Like, what is the end game for them? What do they see in their minds? And I think it just comes with growth. I don't discredit the way we did anything as young kids coming up. We were just trying to figure it out. But I think now it all makes sense. I think we coach. It's like the Dichotomy of Leadership. I always go back to that, but it's a great book by Jocko. I heavily recommend it to anyone, really anyone. Period. You don't have to be in leadership because we're all leaders to some extent. So, but the dichotomy of something is understanding two extreme opposing forces, and I think as leaders, you want people to succeed around you.
Right.
You want nothing but the best for them. So I think in the beginning, we tried to almost like put them in a little bubble, like really protect them and not let them feel
take care, Allison.
too much
Have a great
pressure.
day.
I'll see you later. Not feel too much pressure or not feel any adversity, and really protect them from that stuff and really try to guide them really cleanly and still want them to succeed. And I think anyone pretty much just knows that it's not the recipe for success. You must feel adversities. You must learn how to work through these things. You must learn how to adapt and overcome. And I think doesn't mean that you need to. We didn't just open everything up and it's a full open book and everybody knows everything. No, but I do think that we found a much better and closer line towards the middle of taking a step back. You and I as the leaders of the movement to really repaint the vision, which we're heavily working on now, but it's becoming really clear, and we're constantly updating the team so we could show them, and then we all see that big picture of the ultimate brand's vision. And then from there, taking the time to individually understand each coach and see who they are, where they are, and where they want to go, and understand how they're going to bring value into this movement, right? And allow them to grow and evolve as an individual and thrive and become all that they want to be. And it still fits inside of that movement, and we all win. Right. And I think what that's done is it allowed us to put people in position to be successful, because that's really what it's about. So being a part of this team, you don't need to be involved in all the different services, right? Obviously, you need to be, for us, it's about searching for your character of who you are as an individual, and then kind of finding what your passion and your true desire in the individual niche inside. Some of our coaches are involved in a little bit of everything. Some of them are involved in just one or two of the different services, and that's fine. But ultimately, I could overly confidently say that right now our team has the deepest culture and core values of all standing for the same same overall human, right? Like, so just good characteristics as a person, and then everything else underneath just falls in as their individual person. Right. So it's been a cool thing to watch.
And rolling right in from our team to our community and our membership. If you, I don't know the detail, if you could see behind us, just the array. So I'll kind of call it out. We have, females from any ages from in their 20s all the way up to their 50s, 60s, and we have
70s. Shout out to my boy, bro.
Yeah,
72.
We have males, in the facility right now that are getting their weighted workout and lifting their weights anywhere, again, from the age of early 20s over here, which you can't see, Asher, all the way to Ira in the back. So it's cool just to see the all walks of life, everyone that's in here right now, and the hour of the day that it is. It is, they've been in here since 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., starting at 7 a.m. So they're getting their day started, most importantly. And this is, 7 days a week that this goes on. That's important to us to have that availability. Again, not just for the doors to be open, right? But for the doors to be open and for everyone to still be connected in every moment that they're doing something, to have support to the right and to the left of them, whether the person's in the facility or not that's supporting them. Our coaches pride themselves in keeping in touch. Our members are always supporting each other and having great conversation and holding each other accountable. Just kind of something that we promote. So we got Janet walking our way. We're gonna get Janet to ask a question. We'll see what she's got going on.
Yep.
So we'll get our first one going here. Our first question. Again, if you are on Facebook Live, feel free to ask a question. Janet, before you leave, we did a test run before. Take a couple seconds. We want you to ask us the best question you have for us. It could be about anything right now to Matt and I.
We are live.
I don't like this.
We're talking about just kind of the morning flow in the facility right now and all the different people that are in here, how important it is to us and the community.
Right.
What do you got?
If I can cheat your call market. Let's say.
You can take your time. It could be anything about Relentless, the movement, the brand, the community, the morning, the juice.
Are we doing our Christmas holiday gifts for the kids?
Beautiful question. Yes, beautiful question. So
question.
We'll answer. You could always go back and watch it live. I know you're on the move now. Yep. That's a great question. So,
favorite time of the year.
Of course. So talking about community, Janet asked us if we are doing our Operation Sleigh Bells, which we are. We're getting ready to roll that out. We'll probably put it out and set up our tree and our holiday decorations up here, and we'll post all of our what's it called? Our tags on the wall here. So what we do is we work with Monmouth County Family and Children's Services every year, and we get around 100 tags, and we blow them out of the water every year. We cover every tag, and we donate to every single family with the help of our community. So that's a great question from Janet. That's called Operation Sleigh Bells. So you'll see that pop up in the next couple weeks or so. We will hang all the tags up front. You could grab one, you could grab as many as you want and fulfill the gifts that are on those tags for the families to wrap up and deliver to their children for the less fortunate, So it's a cool thing that we do.
And shout out to our community, because we've been doing this for maybe 4 years or so, around there. But I know we started with maybe 25, 30 tags around there. And every year we've been able to almost double it. So I know last year we we're upwards towards 100, and this year we're definitely getting 100, and we're gonna blow them out of the water. So again, shout out to our community. They're always looking to step up and help out, and it's a beautiful thing. So it's nice to be able to, again, leaders is people who are willing to step up and do more, not just do for themselves, but to be able to do for yourselves first and then do for others on top of that. So very grateful for that opportunity.
So today, obviously, we're doing things a little different. We are recording live. We're giving the community the opportunity to be here live and in person and ask questions such as that. We'll have some more to come. But we also you could rewatch this on YouTube. You could listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Today's a little different also because there is no general topic. It's just question and answers. We're here. It's a little different feel for Matt and I. It's cool. It's a little more radio-like, to say the least, which is awesome. If you go back to our episodes, we've had one season already with 15 episodes, and we're in season 2 now. So there was 9 episodes prior to this. Some great topics, some great guests that have been on the podcast. Those obviously you could go back and rewatch on our YouTube channel or re-listen on any of those pre-mentioned channels or apps. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask on our Facebook Live. I'm on here now kind of checking it out too. Brian's keeping his eye on it as well. So we got a couple viewers in there. We got Pete Nappy tuning in. We got Jules here. Jules, feel free to ask a question, Jules. Don't be shy.
She's awake.
She's checking it out. And my wife is on there. My wife's on there. She's probably hanging with the little guy right now.
Beautiful.
And all of a sudden they all start disappearing. Up there, they're still. Let's see. We got someone pulling up, coming in now, maybe. Diane McCool in the house.
Wow. She's live from Puerto Rico.
Live from Puerto Rico, right? She's away.
Let's go.
Cool.
International.
Some of our coaches will start coming in. We'll grab some of them. It's pretty cool. Can you see on there, Brian, the screen? Kind of who's popping up, or you have to tap it. If you do, don't worry. I could check it off. We got Vicky. Vicky, well, I know she's running a little behind, but we'll get her. Vicky, really, really fast. We're live on Facebook right now. We're recording our podcast. We're recording. It's okay. We're recording our podcast, the Relentless Way podcast. So this is going to be posted up next Sunday and released on Spotify, Apple Music, on all our sites. We're doing a little Q&A. Think a little bit. Any question you have for us right now, ask, and we're going to answer. You could go on and listen to it at a later time. Think for a second. Right here. Go ahead, ask. Go ahead.
Would you rather we show up late or not show up at all?
That's a great question. Good one.
Question,
beautiful. So since you are running behind, you could start your class. We'll answer, and you could check back on our live. We'll send it to you. All right?
Thank
of course.
you. Well,
so
I love that question.
That's Vicky Levy. That's a great question because of the scenario. She is, I'm not going to say how late, but the class started at 7 a.m. So she's in there now. More importantly, she showed up. She made her way here. That's how important it was to her. Her question, Matt, was, would you rather her show up late or not show up at all?
I love this question because I feel like in the industry, I know what the answer would be, right? So coming from a more corporate style facility before starting this, just based upon seeing all the different flaws in the game of a corporate thing that I believe just shouldn't be ran by a corporate world. I believe it should be ran by real people. But there's a lot of like shut door policies. Like when that time starts, the door shuts and that's it. And I think that if you're doing what you're setting out to do in the industry for people, that should be the last way to deliver this. And I tell people all the time, we are high-level professionals here. You show up no matter what, and we will adapt, evolve, and find some way to make you leave feeling better than when you walked in. Because number one, the fact that you still got up, you still got yourself together, you got yourself here is the world. Like that is how you prove juice and confidence to yourself even to start that day and roll off of that. So like the fact of even that kind of righting a wrong is a really good feeling to work off of. And then when you come in and we welcome you with open arms, to all the time, show up. I had someone leave work the other day and they were 30 minutes late to my class. They came in, they're like, I'm so sorry. I said, stop, take a deep breath, get yourself together and jump in. Like, let's get it. 30 minutes of hard work. You leave here, boom, you want to stay a little later even? We'll stay later. And you want to get a little work in, talk to the floor coach, they'll keep you going. Like, And that's what I think this is it's team. It's team by coaches and it's team by our people and community.
Right.
And now it's just a big team. So the ultimate answer to that is always show up no matter what, because we could always make it work. And we pride ourselves in that as well. So great question.
For sure. I always say it'll teach itself. You'll learn it through just how you feel and your experience. When you show up to that class late every time, if there's 20 people in it, the other 19 people besides you are gonna, let you feel that, and rightfully so. They're not gonna be nasty about it, but you're just gonna feel that a little bit of embarrassment in the moment of being behind. But it happens to everybody, right? But it's in your head next time you're getting prepared, and it betters you, right? It betters you every time and every moment. Not only for here, because this isn't the most important thing, but this is where it starts, is the way you are training yourself for life every day when you come in. So
great point, because I'm going to roll right off of that. And I think what we do here is take real life experiences and then work off of them and grow. So like, we're designed in that moment just to be like, listen, it's all good, it's fine, get in here. And then at some point, once they let that person settle in and work, or even later that day or at the end or something, like, go back over and reflect real quick, assess, be like, hey, what's up? Like, you good? Like, what happened? What can we do moving forward? How can we focus on creating a solution for the problem that we just have? Because do you like the way it felt? Because the reality is like, no, nobody likes that feeling. We all know that feeling. Nobody likes it, right? So now what are we going to do to really limit, right? Let's limit. We're all humans. Like, we all make mistakes. So how do you bring that percentage down, right? I like to talk percentages. Like, how do you lower that percentage to be so low of these moments? And whatever that means to you, whether me, I got 3 different alarms set, I got noise alarms, I got sound, I got different things going on. So I think you find your way. Like I said, I don't like getting up early, but I do. And I had to find a way to make sure that I hedge myself in all different ways, because I don't like messing up really. So, and we all have gone through it. So
we have our first question on Facebook Live.
Let's go.
Harold, I see you on there live. Let's go. Question from you, Mr. Van Arsdale.
Oh, nice.
But we got a question from Jules Malazzo. She is in the building right now. She's going through our CIT program and thriving at it. So hopefully, she will be joining our team very soon. We're very excited about that. Her question is coming all the way from the Relentless Facility. How have you guys evolved since COVID? So this is something we've touched on in a lot of our episodes, but again, it's always a great thing to talk about. Just the challenges that were brought onto us. For me, for my vision, the evolution for us during COVID was being able to step back and work on the business more, and realizing how important it was to continue to strengthen our team and our community along with ourselves. That as we always say, to not push as much and to pull more, to have that hand available to create environments or to create moments where we are always reaching out and we are always an option for every individual in their life, including each other. So that was the biggest evolution for us, is strengthening that and taking that to a whole nother level.
A really great answer. Agree 1,000% all that. I'll add my 2 cents as well. But before, I want to shout out Julie and our CIT program, our coach and training program that we developed. One of the many things that we've amplified and developed, because we kind of had it, we were winging it in a way, but it's a very beautiful, clean process now that we're very proud of. Shout out to our team and Jack, our experienced director, of taking all of our feedback, ideas, and really being able to take that and make it into something beautiful like he always does. So shout out to Jack, and also shout out to anyone out there in the world that is looking to join a movement based upon working to constantly become the best version of yourself, but also then to just dedicate yourself to that, and then also look to do that to others, okay? And that's what we're looking to do. Our team is growing day in and day out. We're very open-minded to have all different conversations with anyone. That's how it starts. From there, we have developed a beautiful process that we're very proud of, and that process is all based upon our team. So it's not just about Paul and I, it's about the brand and our team, and making sure that you are a part of that. So we're excited to release that as of recently, and to have Julie go through this at its best level yet. So shout out to Julie, she's doing great.
I'm hounding people for questions on here. A lot of people watching, you're staying locked in. Don't be shy. It's a keyboard you could type away. Don't be shy. Coach Evan's on there now, up nice and early.
Good morning.
Right? Drinking his morning coffee, maybe doing some push-ups. Hopefully shadow boxing a little bit. Come on, Evan. I know you got some questions for us. Evan was a guest on our podcast last season. I think actually it was episode 10, if I'm not mistaken. Episode 10, season 1. I remember he was our first guest that we had on our show. We did our first 9 episodes, just Matt and I, kind of getting everything going and revving the engines up. Anthony Laporta said, "Go get it, Matt." Always supporting.
Shout out, my man.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm gonna add my 2 cents on the evolution of the pandemic because I believe it'll be one of the greatest chapters in the book of the Relentless movement. From an entrepreneurial standpoint, I think what it kind of did for this industry as a whole, I think it ultimately...
Pandemic, our essential workers, shout them out, you know?
Awesome. Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah, true, 100%.
Yeah.
I think what it did for the industry, though, was it leveled it out the way that it should have been from a long time ago. So I think the industry turned for a very corporate-based mentality, focusing on numbers and people, but I think it got away from delivering a great product to them and helping them get what they truly want, which is to have safe, fun, innovative work and to get results. And I think our mission from day one was to always do that. So I think we were way ahead of the curve, and I think the pandemic just leveled it out. So it really, again, I wish nothing but success to everybody, but business is raw, ruthless game. So I think what it did from the business standpoint of this industry was kind of weed out the people that are in it for the wrong reasons. So I think what it did for us was bring us together more than ever, brought our team together. We had video meetings every couple days. We had constant interaction. We evolved so much that it's like unbelievable what we did in that 1 year. So I think ultimately it allowed us to grow and evolve, which I think is the recipe to overall life. So I think it just expedited who we are and what we stand for and the impact that we're going to make in this overall human development space mixed with physical, mental, and emotional growth of human beings.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is, it's cool being live. Maybe we should we run it back and get in the radio a little bit more?
I think so. I'm thinking at least once a quarter, maybe. I don't know. Maybe once a month. I don't even know. But I like it. I think it's cool. It's interesting.
I'm a big sports radio fan in the morning. Yeah, I feel like Craig Carton up here. I want to be like Craig Carton.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Only on air though. Only on air.
Yes.
You know, it was cool for Matt and I. It was humbling. It has been humbling, but also a little different and weird for us to like enter ourselves into this space over the last year in the podcast space. We're vocal guys in when we get comfortable in places. You know, because we're not so like pushy and jumpy. We're very balanced with everything. So for us to kind of, you know, be in that podcast world and just throw our 2 cents out there every day, it was a little challenging, but we understand that what the movement is for and what our voice is for in these moments and what our intention is with the podcast. If you haven't listened to all of our episodes of the podcast, that's fine. But we really, really want to encourage you to go back to episode number 1 because that's when we really explain of why we're doing what we're doing. And that sets it all off, and then you could kind of bounce around after that. We obviously encourage you to listen to every episode. Take your time. Early on, a couple of them are a little shorter, so you could get through them fast. Not encouraged, but a little tip from some of our friends and avid podcast listeners. Put that on high speed when you're listening so it goes fast and you listen to it faster. You could knock an hour podcast out probably in like 25 minutes. I don't know, something like that. So,
and also too, I think it'd be cool for people to show because this is who we are as leaders, and I think it wasn't necessarily something that was on the forefront of things that we wanted to do, but we did it because we believe in the overall impact that it would make for people. Good morning. How are you? Good. And I think knowing nothing about podcasting or anything, Paul and I decided that it's something that we had to do. We have a couple close people. Shout out John Vigaro and his podcast who brought us on early. We've been on a couple great podcasts throughout our journeys, but John kind of harnessed us and was like, boys, he's always been a coach and a leader to us. We've always, shout out Adapting Social, he's part of our team. but he's always been there to just kind of give us that extra juice. Like, guys, you could do this, basically. So I remember the day we were on John's podcast, I think for the second time, and we got in the car and we looked at each other and we're like, we're doing this. And we just said it and we planned it. That was a Friday, and I think we started the next Friday. And we just showed up and started winging it. And I think when you go through and listen from day one to where we are now, not just of ourselves, because I do feel more confident, and I think we've grown as individuals in the space, but not even that, but it's just a level of quality, our attention to detail. Like, we just like to do things at a high level, and I think when you have that standard, it carries over very nicely into everything. And I think our goal is to always be better, always to get better. Shout out our boy Ryan Frazier, our producer behind this from Florida. We've been able to add in Jules as well, who's helping us out with some audio. So growing our team of just not people in fitness too has been a really cool add-on for the overall brand, because it's still like-minded individuals that still love fitness and are part of the Relentless movement, but also have other tools to bring to the table. So that's been cool too, because it kind of expands our wheelhouse of our team. It makes us just that much more dangerous, because I believe in order to win, we want to win in all levels, not just our facility, our standards within, from quality control of movements and exercises and program design, to quality control of organization and cleanliness, to the team and the culture that we have created and will constantly continue to create, to all of our services inside of that, but then social media, website. Like, these are all different avenues of it. So again, shout out to the pandemic for us to step back and notice all these things and say, we have to make sure we're dedicating ourselves to all these things. So we're just constantly looking to try new things and get better, as long as it is based upon good morals and values, winning, and the overall brand and vision of the Relentless movement. So
right. We got rolling in now. We got, after Anthony Laporta, Coach Jenna's on here. We got Chris Spallina from the Phoenix Group, right? Chris. So we're gonna go to Chris's question. Chris. Chris said, "You guys are awesome. I'd love to be on your podcast one day if you have me." 100%. I believe we have Chris on our list actually of guests, so we'll reach out to you, Chris, shortly. But his question comes from the local Monmouth, Ocean County area. Matt will fill you in a little more about what Chris does. His question was that he'd love to be on the podcast. Well, talk about Chris 100%. And what he does. He's an awesome guy.
So shout out to Chris, referral through Daniel Reagan, who is a stallion in the game of life. Danny Reagan is someone we met a while back, who has an amazing story. If you don't know who Daniel Reagan is, just look up the name, type it up, and look at where he's been and where he is today. He demonstrates what Relentless is through and through. So Danny's definitely one of our guys that we have stayed connected with. See, Asher, have stayed connected with throughout the journey. Who specializes in helping people with substance abuse and overcoming their own personal adversities with any type of different substances. And Chris was a referral through him, who is a leader in one of the chapters of the Tri-State, who runs a program called the Phoenix.
Ralphie, what's up, man?
Good morning.
We're live right now, baby. We're live. Oh, yeah.
That's the big man. He has been a guest, real quick, Ralph Johnson, on the podcast, who gives out nothing but great wisdom, encouraging, enlightening knowledge and energy. So if you have not seen Ralph Johnson, he's very close to us. He's helped us grow as entrepreneurs and men as well throughout the journey. So if you haven't listened to his, please go listen. He is an amazing man just overall. But
back to Chris, but Chris also said, let's get Danny Reagan on the podcast with us. Whoa. All four of us. Great conversation. That would be beautiful.
Heat. Shout out to Chris too, though, for what he's done and how he's stepped up and grown inside of that program and taking lead in running not just the New Jersey, but New York and PA, and being involved in all of that, and going out and working to connect and create opportunities for people who are sober for 48 hours or more, creating connection where places that they could go. And it's all, it's a charity-based thing. So we're working to get involved in it because it's all about team, right? So we need someone throughout the mission and on our team to be able to step up and handle that responsibility, because we take a lot of pride. I would never take something on that I can't fulfill 100%. It's not our style. So we had a great conversation with Chris. We have stayed connected because it's all about timing. We recently had a coach, Jenna, has stepped up, who has a heart for substance abuse and mental health. So it really has been a beautiful, synergized, just organic relationship now that we have connected Jenna to Chris, and we're working on bringing that in. And what that does is it allows us to connect with the Phoenix. We would go on their website, which allows anyone that's involved in that program to have access on their website to see when we would have complimentary classes hosted here dedicated to anyone involved in the Phoenix. So we're really looking forward to be bringing that. That should be coming very shortly. We're working on tightening that all up. So again, amazing opportunity. We're grateful for the referral from Danny, because I know Danny is not going to send me anybody that's not down for the sickness, like we like to say, down for the big cause, for the movement of life.
Let's put Chris and Danny on that podcast list, on the shared list. Even if you note it, we'll throw it on there later, Brian. We'll get them on soon this season for sure. We got some finishing up into the winter. Some
Start
strong
checking your
guests
dates, Chris. We go Friday morning, 6 a.m. Meet up. Go live by 6:30. We're on. So start checking some dates and hit us up. But we love to do that.
Next, we're going to go Coach Jenna Cornwell from Facebook Live.
Here she comes.
Getting ready for class. Actually, she's probably just
over
in
here
the facility.
somewhere.
She's here somewhere.
She just walked in.
Cool. So Jenna, should we get her to come and ask it live?
Ooh, that'd be nice. Where is she?
No, she's training Ralph right now. I'm working with Ralph. All right, so Jenna asks, which core value would you say is the most important to remember and why?
Ooh,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down our core values right now. This is a quiz. I'm not going to turn around and look at our core value wall. I'm going to run through this. So we have change the game. That is the most important for us in order form to change the game. That's our focus every day. So I might have answered the question, I might not have right there. We have connect on a personal level, bring your knowledge and passion, and commit to excellence. Those are our 4 core values. To me, it's change the game, right? If we stay focused on changing the game, changing the big game, changing the long game, and the short game every single day, when we open our eyes and we take our head off that pillow, then we're going to better ourselves. We're going to better the people that we're interacting with. We're going to better the whole entire movement, and we will ultimately change the game, no matter what game you're playing, right?
100%. I love it. I think the way that Paul said it, we went back and forth a little bit about the way that we wanted them to be put out, and I think we played with 1 and 2, but we realized that 1 will overpower them all. So I think the 2 that we were playing around with was to connect on a personal level, because we do believe how important that is for the brand and what we bring to the table of connecting with people. But I think, like Paul said, if we wake up every day and know that this mission and this movement is so large and so great, that all those other things fall into place. Because the only way that we could change the game, like Paul said, on a day-to-day basis, understanding the long game, is to wake up every day knowing that we must change the game. It's by holding ourselves to a higher standard every single day and not forgetting about the one we set yesterday, but raising that bar day in and day out. So, great question.
Chris Spallina said 1,300 members in New Jersey this year strong, and that is beautiful.
Nice.
Awesome job, Chris. Keep up the good work with the Phoenix group. We have, there's Coach Evan. He got a question there. He said he was thinking long and hard about it. He wanted to get a good question. He loves challenging us. So from Coach Evan Van Arsdale, what are some tools you both use to keep yourself disciplined / organized through life? With a boxing emoji and a thumbs up.
Love it. So if you don't know the Goose or Evan, he's been an avid part, I believe, just of our lives, period, because without him even knowing, he helped Paul and I grow as men and as leaders, because we took on a responsibility of having him around. We were still figuring things out in a way, because entrepreneurship is that game. So you're always kind of figuring things out, and you're working on overcoming obstacles and finding solutions to problems. So he's a very special person to us. We definitely recommend everyone going back and listening to him, because he has a great story himself. And he is a major, major role player in the Relentless movement. But to answer his question, I think the tool / thing, I don't know how you would want to look at it, but I think it's boiling it down to time. So I believe time is the tool. So the way that you optimize, prioritize, delegate, and own time is the secret sauce. So I think when you look at it like that, when I look at my week and my day, it's seconds, it's minutes, it's hours, it's days, and all of those things compile into something, right? And I got to make sure that all those things come out as something great and that they're constantly getting us better day in and day out. So I think taking a step back and understand how you're going to use time will allow you to then stay organized and be disciplined, to come full circle to your question. So I think it's a great question. I think we have watched Coach Evan grow because...
That's what we're waiting for. You got to finish up.
Yes, we have watched Coach Evan grow because we got him as a young boy. He was 12 years old. He is 19 years old now. I think when we brought him in, though, we held him to such a high standard that we were a little tough on him in the beginning. We had to always kind of pull ourselves back and be like, we have to remember he's 15. Like we're like talking to him like a grown-ass man. And he was that, and I know that he's grateful for it because of the standard that we all carry each other to now. And now he knows he's one of us. So like he's grown so much respect that it's like a camaraderie that is unbreakable. And I think we're grateful for that with all, even the newer, younger coaches coming up. I think the camaraderie that's growing is really cool. So right. I think all in all, that's what we have done, and I think we're proud of you because we're watching you grow day in and day out because of your dedication to the movement. You want nothing more than to tighten up your work so that you could constantly keep bringing value. So keep doing what you're doing. It's not going unnoticed. Beautiful stuff about Evan. It's always good. I'll answer the question a little more. That was a little Evan highlight fest, which is well deserved. So those disciplines and those tools that we're using, that's what, obviously, as Matt mentioned, that's what Coach Evan is starting to use at a higher level now. But I think the biggest key for me and for us has been to constantly change those tools and constantly adjust and adapt those tools. You might have tools that stay with you and things that you go to every day that are your go-to, but you also have to understand when things aren't working or it's a different situation or a different time in life that you need to adjust those and adapt and take on new methods and new ways to either solve problems, deal with things throughout your daily going. So definitely, we've seen Coach Evan amplify those things, as Matt mentioned, and in his own life, and that motivates us to also continue to grow ourselves and adapt ourselves along with our other coaches and team. We got Karen Farrell here. We're going to ask you to stand up. You could kind of stand right on the corner of that entryway right there, the red carpet.
I actually have the face for a podcast today, not YouTube, so we'll just...
You're all good. Well, we are on Facebook Live, too. Yeah, even better. Yeah.
Very good.
Wow. Is there an edit button on this?
Yeah, we could get our editor to do some stuff. So what do you got for us? We're asking any question. Mike's yours.
Well, the beauty of Relentless is that I pick your brains all the time, so my questions are minimal at this point.
Right.
I talk to every one of you incessantly, which may drive you crazy.
No.
And another shout out to what you just talked about with Evan. He's a 19-year-old man. I'm a 60-year-old woman, and I learned from him.
Right. Beautiful.
So what questions do I have? Very minimal, but I have to have one, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, this beautiful boxing ring that you have behind you, next to you. I don't know if do we see that?
No, it's not in the shot.
Well, trust us, it's there. It's a beautiful boxing ring. Very few things in life that I'm intimidated by. That intimidates me. What would you say to someone who wants to dabble in that boxing to get them just to cross over and maybe try it?
Great. That's an awesome question.
That's a cool question, yeah.
I'm going to start it off with boxing and fitness, and what we do in our movement is one of the most intricate and most important parts of our movement and journey so far, but at the same time has been one of the most challenging things because of your question and because of the intimidation that it brings.
Correct.
So in everything that we've done, from our marketing to our advertising to our social media work to the way we set the facility up to the delivery to a new member when they come in, we've always tried to find that line, and it's different for everybody, of when to introduce boxing, when to bring it about, when to show it, and how to show it, because it could be so intimidating, right? Early on, the common response that we would get until we really have built our footprint in the industry, especially locally, is I'm not looking for a boxing gym, right? So number one, we are not just a boxing gym, as we've recognized over the years, right? So what I would say, my thing would be, take it on, number one, easier said than done, but take it on as if it was like any other challenge, right? And don't be intimidated, but more importantly, go to somebody that is going to be able to uplift you and that is going to be able to bring you through it the right way. So you are at the right place. I hope this potentially is a question that you may have had for months or years now, right? So our job now is to address and say, hey, how do we introduce that along our journey and along the way, or along our members' journey, and allow them to experience this moment sooner than later, right? Because it is so important, and Matt's going to tell you why boxing is so important, to be somewhat involved in everyone's life.
So 2 things before I answer the question. Coach Evan's going to be reaching out to you because he's going to enlighten, bring you into this world. So it's already going to be done. So because I think that, number one, you just stating of how you feel, I think it'll be a really cool way to connect with him even more. And he is so warm. And the love for boxing and the appreciation of what it does, and I'll highlight that in a second, he wants to bring to the whole world because it's much more than what is seen on the surface. So I think that it could be a really cool opportunity. So that's already going to be done, okay? Number two, thank you, because Karen is an avid follower and listener from day one of our podcast. She constantly gives us great feedback and any different advice or 2 cents, right, in a good way. So we really respect and appreciate all your feedback. So thank you. Number one, yeah. And then the answer I would say is I think boxing has taught me so much about life. I think it's a very close correlation. I think entrepreneurship is a raw game, but I don't think it's for everyone, and I think that's fine. But I think that boxing is a really cool analogy or correlation to going out of your way to put yourself in an uncomfortable scenario that can teach you how to work and thrive through it. So I think what it does is it allows you to thrive as an individual. And if you, like Paul said earlier, if it's taught to you by the right people, it's going to be okay. And what we do is we teach you how to work through uncomfortable bad scenarios together in your home, in your comfort zone. So if, God forbid, I like to say all the time, it's a crazy world out there, right? God forbid you have to defend yourself. It doesn't mean you got to train and go fight in a Golden Gloves tournament or have to be a pro boxer, right? There's levels to the game like anything else. But I think what it does is it grows individual personal confidence in yourself as a person to be able to solve problems and make fast decision-making skills, because that's what the game brings. And ultimately, it brings composure inside of the chaos, becoming comfortable in the uncomfortable. And I believe that's the greatest gift of life, because life is chaotic. So I think the mission that we have with boxing is to correlate to that and to use it as a really great tool for you then to go out and use it out in your everyday life.
Right.
So I think that is, I could go on forever on this one because this was a good one, but I'm going to try to stop myself. Yeah, there.
That's a great question, and
Really
obviously
good question.
Coach Evan will be reaching out to you, Karen. You'll be getting in there. Karen is in here just about 7 days a week, every morning. This is like normal conversation for us, right?
Yeah, I mean, although I love this, form, I don't wait for it.
Right.
I just,
Let
you guys are all available.
Pull up a chair. We'll pull up. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man, I'm just so excited that I am on Facebook Live.
Let's go.
All right.
Thanks, Karen. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you again, as always.
So that's the fun of being here in the facility, getting live questions here in the moment. Daniel Reagan, what's up, bro? He said, I'm always game. He's down for it. So he's in for it all.
Let's get it.
We got a couple people watching. Amy Tierney, good to see you on here. Any questions,
nice.
feel free to ask.
Tierney. Very good to see you.
A couple people still hanging out watching. We got 7:48 on the clock, so we got some of our class finishing up. A couple members finishing up. Coach Lee is in the facility now. Doing some CIT work with one of our newer members, and Jules learning a little bit back there.
Another cool
Are they
part.
in the shot? You can see them in the shot, right? They're back there, 3 girls.
The shout out that part to our coach and training process is, I believe leadership breeds leadership, right? So something that Paul and I have added to the process is for us to specifically pick one of our coaches to take lead on one of the coaches in training. And what that does is it puts control and power inside of our coaches to live up to the standard and make sure that it's taught properly. So it's that this is how we do things type deal, and explaining and showing them why, and to give them that position of power and leadership. And all that's been doing is drastically growing our team. And it's what it's doing though is it's expediting the rate of it. So very proud of that. Leah stepped up huge with this opportunity, and she's doing a great job with it. So shout that out for sure.
So we have, like I mentioned, the 7 a.m. small group winding down. They'll be finishing up around 8, and we'll get a crew of members either making their way out or in around that time.
Let's take a second real quick before they finish up. Let's shout out Challenge Day. So I like to talk about that in this setting because I think it's a cool, fun, exciting day that we do every month. It's the last Saturday of every month. We work to bring our whole team, so whoever's available to come in. The whole facility is used for this big group setting, right? So we do it 8:30 to 10. It's an hour and a half of just total body go. It's a mixture of everything. This last month we brought back boxing, which was exciting to kind of get that back into the mix. So it's always going to be different, fresh, fun, innovative. You're going to get a take from the whole team. So we try to get everybody involved, speaking or leading some segment inside of it, as well as we bring our Relentless Entertainment crew that we have connected with over the years that we're very proud to have these connections from. Jordan Marshall, the original Explosive Entertainment, to Vinny Weiss, to Chris Camp, and then all the way down to the young buck. Big shout out to Angelo Messina as well, who has stepped up as a young kid, who has dedicated himself to a craft, and he's doing business, he's doing his thing, he's 16 years old, and that is what we want to surround ourselves with, which is just hard-working people who are looking to get better day in and day out, surround themselves with like-minded people, and feed off each other and just give to each other to grow and evolve every day. So big shout out to our entertainment squad. They're always coming through, always bringing heat, and keeping it nice and fun, and the energy nice and high. So that event is this last Saturday of every month, and it's free for everyone, members and non-members. So you go on the app, you sign on, you're good to go. So if you have never been, we'd love for you to come by and check it out.
Beautiful, beautiful. We have some members coming in. We'll get some questions going at the 8 o'clock hour. Hillary, Coach Hillary, teaching the small group.
Good morning.
Let's see. I was going to see if she has it. When Coach Hillary's done with the small group,
Yeah.
we're going to have her come ask a question for sure. We'll get her in here. We have a couple people coming in the 8 a.m. hour. It's a little different for those listening on the podcast. It's our first time going live here. We're Facebook Live. We are live in the facility again on Route 9 South, Freehold, New Jersey. So stay with us. Stay with us on the podcast, the recording. Let's see what we got going on Facebook Live. We got some viewers here. Any new questions? Nothing new on the questions. Did I miss anything? We had some great questions from Jules, from Coach Jenna, and Coach Evan, along with Chris Spallina joined us. And here we go. We got the editor himself all the way from Florida, Ryan Frazier, coming in with the question. What's the biggest challenges you faced when it's come to scaling Relentless? Ooh. So we're on the term of scaling here. For those of you that don't know, Ira, have a great day.
You too.
Great work.
Yeah, have a good one.
For those of you that don't know what scaling means, in general terms, it basically is like a way of growing, of kind of planning ahead and preparing and being able to put stuff into action that's going to let you get to the points that you want of growth. So the pandemic was a big part of that. What we talked about before is working on the business. But let's go into detail. There's a lot of intricate things in between that we really focused on intentionally to kind of scale the business, and some things that are still in the works too.
Yeah, I would say that this whole journey has been definitely challenging. It'll challenge your whole self. But I think this has been the hardest thing, honestly, is scaling the brand. Because, Paul and I have been doing this a long time, and we trust, believe, we know who we are, we know who we stand for, we know what we're going to bring to the table constantly. And I think trying to multiply that has been the hardest thing, okay? And I'm gonna simplify it down to a conversation we just recently had together, which is the difference of our shift as leaders and talking about the difference between pushing and pulling, okay? So I think in the beginning we were pushers, and what does that mean? That means Paul and I are competitors. We love to win. We don't like to lose, but we just like to compete as well. We want to be in there. We want to have experiences. We want to grow from them. We want to evolve. We want to talk about it. and we want to get better. Like, that's just who we are, right? And I think when you do that enough and you have worked with other people throughout your life and you see what it could do to pick each other up, right? You feel that energy of like pushing each other. So growing up, our tight circle of friends has all been very competitive, always looking to push each other and bring out the best in each other. So we're blessed to have that circle of friends. But when we entered this journey now, it's like we had to make a new team. Like now we had to form a team to represent this movement. And I think what we believed was that if we saw a little bit of goodness or a little bit of go or a little bit of extra juice inside of a human.
Right. Check the battery.
We thought that we could pull out extra. We thought that maybe we could make them turn into something that maybe that they didn't think that they could or want to be. And I think part of that's kind of good, but part of it's almost, a lot of it's not good, because the reality is that we can't make anyone be something that they don't want to be. It has to be what they, what they see or perceive of themselves, and then we help them get there. So I think in the beginning we were pushing. Oh, we got a nice couple coming in. This could be fun. Hold my thought.
You're good. No, you're good. You're
Come
perfect. You're just stand right at the edge of the carpet here.
Come on over here, the red carpet.
You're not on the camera, just voice. We're on Facebook Live right now. We're recording the Relentless Way podcast. So this is going to be edited and put on in a weekend or so, the following weekend. We are taking questions from members as they come in. We just want one question from the newly engaged couple right here. So Nicole, take a moment, take 20, 30 seconds, start thinking right now. Any question you have for Matt and I about the movement, about Relentless, about life, about anything, ask away right now.
You can think about it.
We're live on Facebook. We are recording the podcast. We're going to be on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. So this is a big one. This is one of the biggest questions of your life, you know?
What?
Maybe Brian's got something for you too.
Brian,
Maybe he'll help you out.
We could do it together.
Yeah,
Sure.
of course.
What do you guys talk in the corner? Come up with a team question. Pull a little huddle. How about we highlight this couple starting their day? I love this, right? Get up early, come start the day Relentless, and then go crush the rest of the day.
No, you're good.
You're cool. Yeah, you're good. Side view profile she's going today. No big deal.
Look, that's our view right now.
Yeah, you're good.
Your voices are just going right to us.
Yep.
To our mics.
We've watched Nicole grow over
Brian.
the years. Go ahead.
What's next for you guys? What's the next big step for this gym?
Beautiful.
Love
Awesome
it.
question. So you guys can hang if you want. I know you're getting your day going. You could check back and watch on live. We're going to answer it. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Nicole and Brian asked together, what is the next step for us? What's next for the facility? What is next for the Relentless movement?
Love it. I'm going to finish my answer and then come back to that, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about pulling, the difference. The shift that we made from pushing to pulling was during the pandemic, like we said, taking that step back and focusing on ourselves and each other, really connecting as leaders and individuals, taking our relationship to the next level, dedicating more time to ourselves, day in and day out, physically, mentally, and emotionally, reading, not missing reading, podcasting, listening, conversations, physical fitness, all those things, and just moving forward and pulling. So letting people that want to be a part of that and have like-minded ideas, concepts, and aspirations to see it and want to be a part of it and say, hey, I want to be a part of that. And now we're just running forward and our squad is just leveling up behind it and we're moving heavily forward. So that was the shift from pushing to pulling. Really hard thing. I read it in a lot of books. I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of get it. Then we were forced to basically do it because it was kill or be killed in the time of the pandemic of survival of the fittest. And we did it, and now we get it, right? So keep reading. I constantly put that out to people. Never stop learning, guys. Right. And we're going to keep trying to go out, get as much as we can to bring it back to everybody as well. So now I'll shift it over to Paul. He can start off that question.
What is next? So what is next for the Relentless movement? Essentially is what Brian and Nicole, the future Mrs. Knox, asked. There's always something next. Coach Evan at the same time kind of asked a similar question. He's just firing questions away right now. But he said, we know the compound is the end game, right? We know the future vision for us as a movement, as a team, is to have tons of land and space and a facility for everyone to enjoy with everything that is needed and more, from spas to classrooms to podcast studios, available to us and to the public. So a facility for everyone to thrive and grow and work hard towards bettering themselves. But along the way, there's many steps that will need to be taken, and there's many people, other movements, from other walks of life that will come into the journey and take part and take play, and they'll have a choice. They'll have the opportunity to be part of that. So right now, in the moment, the exact next step is two things that we always are consistently working on behind the scenes: spreading ourselves outside of the facility. To start, everything that we've done in the last year or so to strengthen our core and our team and our base, and knowing that we could walk out of these doors and leave anybody in this facility, meaning our coaches specifically, in charge of running the show, that we have full confidence in that. So Matt and myself could go out and we could go and find opportunity for ourselves to go and for our team to go and make things happen. Number one is Bradley Beach. We have 301 Main Street. It's going to be our first satellite location. It is not a franchise, it is a satellite location. So a builder by the name of Mark, someone that we met, a young man just like ourselves, a couple years in age older than us. He is taking on his first venture and his first building that he is building. It is a large apartment complex, 30 units on Main Street in Bradley Beach. Below that apartment complex is a training facility that he is building out and we are creating. He wants us to come in and bring the Relentless Way to that building and to that community. So that's what we are doing. Coach Brian and Coach Jenna are leading that up, and they will be taking on any new leads. We are shooting for December 1st, 2021. That's our target goal to get started. So if anyone is in that area and is interested, reach out. That is how we are starting to spread the movement. That is how we are starting to take that next step. At the same time, we're always working on the next step for this facility, right, and the growth. We would leave this space and we would go into something bigger. We are always searching for something larger so we could deliver more at the same time and allow more people to be part of the movement. So that's something we're always working on, right?
100%. I think that's, I mean, Paul hit it on the head, so I'm just going to kind of add a little bit. But I think as we do that and we're aggressively looking for a new place, we must still be diligent. So as Paul keeps speaking about our team, our culture, our standards at home, that's what this is all about in the given day-to-day activities. So as we keep doing that, the movement, the brand, the team is what this is about. The shell or the place that it's being done out of is just a place, okay? So we are unemotionally attached to the location that we are in until we get the compound. But I think what runs the movement is the most valuable thing. So our team, the culture, standards, all of those things. Because now, when the opportunity arises, because it's all about timing, we know exactly what we're looking for right now, which is the next step in the immediate is warehouse space. It's got to be upwards of 6,000-7,000 square feet minimum from here, because we need big ceilings. We need that next level movement for us to be able to take all of our service to the next level, so that we can show all the different things that we can work with. So that's the immediate next step that we're working towards, and then from there it will be the compound. I think it's a blessing to have met so many great people along the journey, because that is what is allowing us to keep making these constant leaps and bounds. It's just people, right? It all comes down to networking and people and meeting good people. So it's holding ourselves to a very high standard and allowing that standard to shine through and connect to other like-minded individuals. So, for example, Mark, who's an amazing guy that has given us an amazing opportunity, was referred to us through someone that we met along the way, that we were inquiring about new equipment for the possible new space, because we're always ahead of the game. So we're getting ourselves ready. When we do acquire the space, we know all the new things that we want. So we're getting ready, locked, and loaded. That guy met somebody who happened to be Mark. He was just inquiring about putting equipment in there. Mark asked if he knew anyone in the local area that could deliver a high-level luxury-based service that goes hand-in-hand with his luxury-based style apartments. And the first person this man thought of was us. So I think that was a really great compliment. And it teaches you to take every opportunity Don't look back. Try it. Have a conversation. You have nothing to lose in life. And we took that talk. Paul actually took the talk by himself. I was away, which shows how strong of a team that we are. So I was away during that time. Paul went by himself, lone wolf style, just to take an opportunity and see what could happen. And he had a great, cool experience. He was able to meet Mark. He had to put a hard hat on and walk through this brand new, beautiful construction and feel, which I also believe in the universe. I think we spoke a lot about building our compound, and I think it was an amazing opportunity for Paul to have that first meeting with Mark at the raw beginnings of needing to wear a hard hat and walk around and smell it and feel it of what new construction is. And then that relationship, I'll see you later. And then that relationship turning into what it is today of us working our way in and now running this joint venture of running our services and the Relentless brand inside of his beautiful building that he has built from scratch. So proud moment. Shout out to Paul for originally taking that opportunity by himself, and us just being able to constantly meet people no matter what other experiences have brought to us, from ups to downs and everything in between, but never stop meeting people and giving opportunities and going from there and just not being afraid. And I think that is what got us to where we are today, and that's what's going to get us to that end and final game of the Relentless compound and the movement at its highest level throughout the whole world.
Beautiful, beautiful. We a lot going on. Ryan says Relentless Florida. You know, maybe one day.
Lee already called it.
We always
shout it out.
You know, it always feels better to talk about the warm weather places, you know, but we always keep in mind not spreading ourselves thin. We pride ourselves in not franchising, but kind of setting up other locations where people from our core group are always present, or we have the ability to be present at all times. We want to keep the rawness and the trueness from the beginning of our movement. Something to go back on when we first started, we really prided ourselves in, I always relate it to like a class trip when you're in school, the good old Chaperone Rule, you know, it's 3-to-1, right? You know, you have to have, for every chaperone, or every 3 kids, you have to have 1 chaperone. For us, we're finding the sweet spot in the number, but for every, 15 members, you have to have 1 coach. And the reason for that is because we deliver these programs, we design these programs, every week we're writing up new programs. So we have over 160 members and just around, 10, 11 coaches. Some writing more programs than others, but even if it's 15, 16 programs a coach, that's monthly throughout the weeks. They're writing 4 or 5 programs a week. We want the value, we want the quality to always be a part of it. That also has to do with the constant contact and keeping in touch. We're human, right? We only have so many hours in the day. We utilize them the best we can, and we max them out. But at the same time, keeping in touch with 15, 20 people and really, truly, honestly being present in those moments, there's more value when it's 1 coach and 15 members than when it's 1 coach worrying about 50 to 100 members. We don't want to be like those other places that are just more a place for someone to go and has the facility and the space and the tools, right? We want to be able to deliver everything physically, mentally, and emotionally. So it's important to us to not spread ourselves too thin. So when we do come to Florida, it's gonna be wholeheartedly, we're coming to Florida, we're coming to California, we're going wherever we need to go, So a lot definitely goes into it, but I love the confidence and the want to have us down there. Ryan recently moved down there. He was also a guest on our podcast too, and he's an awesome guy. He's been with us since the beginning of our journey. So what I'm gonna do, you chat it up a little. I'm gonna go grab someone from the membership. Cool. I'm gonna go grab someone from back here. I'm gonna bring them up to ask a question. All right.
I'm just gonna add two seconds to what he said, and I'll keep going basically. But I think we're the most organic we've ever been. So we're growing at the best rate of quality and quantity right now. So what that means is, as we keep the culture and the standards high, as we breed coaches that stand for the brand, it will allow us to be able to keep creating the satellite locations. I think the end game is the compound, which is the ultimate breeding ground, which allows us to then send out and uphold that product and standard like Paul just spoke on.
For sure. So now I just went out in the facility, grabbed Coach Hiller, who wanted to ask a question. You can stand right on the edge of the carpet and face us. Back up a little. You'll be in the camera still. Beautiful right there. Ask away. What do you got for us?
So I was telling Matt how when my daughter moved to North Jersey, she was looking for a place and thinking about Relentless and really trying to get that same feel about gyms. And she went to different facilities and nothing really felt comfortable. And then she found this one small place near her house, and right away she said, it feels just like Relentless. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what? And so my question is, what is that feeling? How do we create, or how did you guys create that feeling that she was looking for? Do you know what she's talking about when she says, I wanted it to feel like Relentless? And then as soon as she experienced a couple of classes there, it feels like that.
She knew it, right. So, awesome question, beautiful question. Do you have anyone right now or anywhere to?
No,
cool, so hang here. You can listen and take part in the conversation too here. My first thing off the bat is, I would like to ask that question to everyone listening too. And over your time, think about it, whether you ask us or give us your answer in the future. Anyone listening on Facebook Live or to our podcast, reach out to us and give us your insight, and we will find a way to loop it back in and let people hear your voice or your words. But what does it feel like to the member, right? What does it feel like to the person that's involved? What does it feel like to the coach delivering, right, too? So coaches that are listening, what does it feel like? That is how we find that feel. That is how we've leveled up and we've grown so much in that aspect, right, of understanding how someone feels when they walk in the door, all the way to how someone feels when they walk out the door and continue on with the rest of their day.
Yeah.
So one thing that we really did that I go back to is when we brought Jack Colin, our experience director, coming into this new year, and we did a lot of groupthink as a team, right? Coach Hillary was involved in a lot of this as well, and all of our ideas were on the board. And the one main thing we focused on are what are these individuals that we had up on the board, all examples of clients and members, what are they thinking, what are they saying, and what are they feeling? So it doesn't matter as much, a small percentage, it matters what us as coaches feel, think, and how we act and what we say about our service, right? It's important to deliver it, but more importantly, like you just said, it was important that Casey, your daughter, felt that way and spoke that way about us, and that's what she perceived Relentless as.
So it was like a standard, and she was trying to find something to meet that standard.
100%.
Right away, she said, I want to find something like Relentless. And then when she did, she was so excited, she called me right away. She said, I really think
beautiful,
I found it. But it was always measuring to us, you know.
Creating that standard. So that was what it was about. I hope that they're not at our level completely, right? But I love that she found something that feels like that, and I'm sure what she will do is bring more of that into that community. You know,
I told you that she may work there a little bit.
Beautiful.
I'm proud of that too. That's a great.
Matt filled me in a little.
Worked there a
Beautiful.
few hours a week. So.
Well, I think that story though shows also that is more relatable to some of the in-house stories that we've heard here, right? So the fact that she was willing to step up, and she stepped up to the owner, and she's going to be helping around a little bit to help offset the cost, because it is a little bit more of a luxury-based place like ourselves. So we are not your everyday price range place, but like anything else out in the world, you get what you pay for. We hold ourselves to a high standard, and you're going to get that day in and day out / even better, right? So by her understanding that standard, she knew that it was worth it, right? So she wasn't never degrading the price, but she said to the owner, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be a part of this. And I think that shows that feeling and that energy. And when someone they want it to be a part of their life, she's willing to do things that maybe she generally wouldn't do on a regular basis, but she would to have that inside of her life, and that makes us very proud. It also reminds me how we have, I think it's up to 4 or 5 different people now that have Relentless tattooed on them, like our branded Relentless on them. Okay, that is proud. Okay, I'm proud about a lot of things, but that's a statement, right? Like when you could affect someone's life so much to get your name, like in your style, like logo name type deal, tattooed on them, that's empowering, that's impactful, and I think everybody's different. Some people actually have it on them. But I do believe our mission is to tattoo that on every single human, right? Whether it's really there or not, but it's in your heart. Great answer.
And also to highlight that, not only did she have that and understand and feel that and have the relentless embedded in her, but it was passed on and constantly over the years that Coach Hiller has been part of the movement for her to see what it means to her mother, and then her mother to bring her in and be a part of this movement. Yeah. Because not everywhere and not every coach along our journey has brought family, friends, in their circle around them, and that's just as important as anything else. As we continue to talk about, is choosing wisely, but allowing people into your circle, especially when it's for positivity and growth. One thing that we talk about a lot while we're on this topic is the ability for the Relentless community / team and members to work itself out. It's like a tight group of friends and family, right? But it's growing and it's becoming larger and larger, and we're keeping that unity involved. But when there is a member, there is a coach, there is anyone that tries to insert themselves or is working their way into the movement and being onboarded or joining or starting their journey, that if they're giving off great stuff, we're going to accept it and we're going to blend it into what we're doing. But if someone is coming in and constantly rebelling or going against it or just being negative and bringing that energy, it works itself out. They work themselves out by the way of the team, the coaches, and the members. Because we are just true here. Everybody here is true and gives off that real feeling. So as we said with Vicky Levy, who is, even though she was late, she still did some of her floor work. She's still in here. She's still in here busting her butt, right? But that conscious settles in, and she knows Vicky's a high level operator in the way that she attacks her life and what she does. And late happens, right? But if there's people that are late because they don't care about other people's time, because they're not concerned about the other people that are in class with them, those people, they just find a way to work themselves out. And no ill intent at all. It just naturally happens, and that's when you have a good circle and a good family and community, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
See that happen.
Yeah, beautiful question, Hillary. Thank you.
Yeah. And shout out to Hillary. Who's been a part of the movement from the beginning of time, right? And she's evolved herself dramatically with it, right? Because we've evolved as people. So I think that also shows the group of people that we're bringing along with us, is because entrepreneurship, period, is about adaptation and evolution. Entrepreneurship in this specific Relentless movement is times 10, because we're changing a whole game. We're creating a brand that is going to be so big and so impactful that it has to be day in and day out evolution, and it's the only way you could live. So change is just like what we do here. Things are constantly changing and evolving. We're looking to make things better. So that's what we are. And Hillary's done a great job of just taking it on and figuring it out, from the littlest things to bigger things of technology evolution and all these things. But she took it head on. She's tough, and she's still standing strong and evolving with the movement, right? And I think that's what this brand stands for. So again, thank you, and really great question too. Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary.
Casey.
Appreciate it.
Great job, Casey.
So we are still here. I'm just scrolling through the live a little bit. I'm tagging some people in here, seeing if we can get some more questions going. I love the participation already. A lot of good stuff from our coaches, from our community members, people in and outside of it. How we doing back there, Brian? Behind the camera, we all good? Everything's checking out fine. Brian's been doing an awesome job of being in here every morning when we record in the studio or here, and being a big part of helping the Relentless Way podcast grow and get out to as many people as we can. Share with your friends, share with your family, anyone that you think could benefit from it, or we could benefit from them and they can make us better. Yeah. Any suggestions for guests, for listeners, whoever it may be, spread the word. This day and age, they make it so easy. You tap the copy link button and you share it away on whatever platform you are at. So I'm over here tagging away people to come and comment and ask questions on our feed here. Let's see what we got. Bob Brown is watching. Bob healing up from his surgery. Hope all is well, Bobby.
Stay relentless.
Hope everything's good, Bob. Let's see if Bob's got a question for us.
Real quick, let's highlight our community. Bob Brown, hard worker, always down to roll and work hard, right? Bob also has a beautiful, beautiful classic car that's his baby that he takes care of very well. That he's had, I don't even know the year. If you want to shout it out, Bob, you can let us know. But the couple that you just saw, right, the newly Mr. and Mrs. Knox, she had a vision, right? a beautiful photo shoot with this classic car based upon their announcement for their wedding. She came in one day and spoke on her vision. Pete, one of the coaches here, heard her vision, knew Bob Brown, reached out, seen if he would be down for it, connected them, and they have a beautiful photo shoot with this. So we'd love, if anyone wants to check that out, you're more than welcome to, but that's the type of stuff the community brings. It's just people, inspiring people, working off of each other, and feeding off each other and giving different opportunities and experiences to each other that maybe that you couldn't have alone. So awesome tie-in to our community.
Coach Pete's going to get them set up, but we're going to ask Jack to hang tight here. Jack, you can hang here. We want a question from Jack. Jack's always got good stuff. Good morning. Jack and his lovely wife making their way in. Good morning. So we're live on Facebook. We're recording our podcast, right? You've been doing a lot of work with Coach Evan, as well as the team. A lot of boxing, weightlifting, whatever you got going on. It doesn't have to be towards that. What question do you have for us on the spot? Could be any question at all about the movement, about Relentless, about anything, and we're going to answer it on live, and you could come check it out later.
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm living. I'm doing great. I'm excited. I'm excited real quick that this guy's newly into the movement, but is built for the movement. Yeah. And he gets it, we get it, and we feel it, and I'm excited to hear what he's got to say because he is relentless through and through. So
yeah, I mean, it's always like I see you guys picking apart everybody, dissecting them, learning them, the passion for each person that walks in here. I guess more it's like what drives you guys. Like how do you do this every day? Every time I come in, I've never said that I walked out of here and I'm just like I've always walked like they gotta pick me up. I just walk in. I leave here better.
Uplifted.
So it's just you guys never fail for that.
Beautiful, cool. So we're gonna answer the question. I'm gonna restate it. You got work to do. Make your way in there. Get your time. Get everything down. You can check back on Facebook Live, or if you tune in our podcast, you'll hear it live on there. So
thank you so much.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it, man. What Jack is asking is, he sees us in here every day. He sees from myself to Matt to Brian to Coach Pete to all of our coaches, Coach Evan, who he works closely with, intentfully connecting
Facebook
with
Live.
people, right?
Come on here.
So really, really connecting with people. He wants to know what drives us and our team to continuously do that and to continuously connect with people fully through.
Hold on, I got
to connect people fully through. Hold tight right there.
Yeah, hold on tight, Dan.
So
I'm bringing you on. We're on Facebook.
So we're gonna
answer
I'm gonna answer that question first, and I'll let Matt answer, and then we'll bring him in.
Yeah.
So.
Stay with us. Stay with me. Just stay.
What drives us to stay connected? I think just those core values that we answered earlier and that we voiced out earlier in the episode of truly staying true to those and living our lives based on those core values. Those core values were not just created off of cool quotes and things that we wanted to see. Those core values were created in those group think sessions with our team. Along the way of the growth of Relentless, there are things that we pulled out of the depths of our brains and of our experience of what we truly stand for as a team. So it makes it so much easier in those moments to deliver because we have those core values inside of us no matter what. And it starts from bringing a coach onto the team. If they lack or they're missing and we see no chance for them to grow and build and they're shut down to becoming more of that person towards that value, then they're not built to be part of this relentless movement, part of this relentless team in that moment, right? So that's where it starts with, is really to the core, being true to your values in every conversation and every moment of delivering growth in someone's life.
And then to add to that, when you get to use those things as who you are as an individual, and you get to meet people like Jack, okay, who, when you get to know humans as who they are and what they stand for as their deepest points of them, and you see how you are bringing something to them that maybe they've never had before or something that they're striving to find, and you see the connection and what it does is you feel that contagious energy that you just want to keep bringing to the table. So when you meet someone, Jack is an amazing story of his life and what he's gone through, of overcoming adversities as a young kid all the way up into who he is today. And that's what defines who he is as a man, and that's why we love him. But That's the type of people we want in our circle. When you bring someone in, you get to know him, and he just feels it. That lets us know that we're doing the right thing. We're doing what we set out to do every day in and day out of our lives, and we have to continue to do it. So it's exciting because it's like, hey, we said all this stuff. Now we're following through on our word and living up to it. And now we're connecting with other people, and they're feeling it too, and we got to keep that juice flowing. So it's very back and forth based. It's always us giving to them, but they're giving to us just as much, if not even more, because of how much pride we take in us being leaders. So thank you again, Jack, for being a part of the movement, giving us a shot, because he moved from from New York and came here, and he gave us a shot. He was looking for something new, and we're grateful for those opportunities that people do give to us so that we can get a chance to connect with people and bring this Relentless brand to them.
Beautiful. Cool. We have a guest coming in on a little FaceTime, someone that we became very closely connected with, passed on from a good friend of ours, our previous barber, Lena Pincinini. We have Anthony Tango. They're not going to be able to see. I'll bring it a little closer. So we have Anthony Tango here on the live. How's it looking there? We good? Tango, say what's up to everybody.
Good morning.
What's up, man? So we'll keep you looking at us. Matt can hold you. So we are here on the Relentless Way podcast with Anthony Tango. He was also a guest on the show already. He just wanted to come back for some more. And what do you got? You got a question for us, man? We're fielding questions this morning from everyone live in the facility. What do you got for us?
Asking questions?
Yeah, what do you got for us? What kind of question? Anything. Life, training, business, whatever it may be.
What question?
Anthony recently opened within the last year Tango's Barbershop up in, Manalapan, Morganville area on Route 9 northbound side. He is thriving in there. He's filling up the chairs. He's growing the movement, giving out clean cuts, clean fades, as you see here from the both of us.
Right. I'll shout out Anthony real quick, too, because as we met him, we were like-minded.
Hold tight 1 second, then we'll ask it. Go ahead, continue.
When we met Anthony, we were like-minded just as like men in life, but then that took it to another level of entrepreneurship and evolution and growth, and we've really connected over this time to take our relationship to the next level because of the like-mindedness. And this again is highlighting that. Like these FaceTime calls that we do these pretty regularly throughout the week to just send energy back and forth to each other. Like Anthony takes care of us, like Paul said, he keeps us fresh, keeps us sharp, and allows us to feel confident so that we can lead, because that is a major role in feeling good, right? And we as well take care of Anthony in any way that we can here, whether it be we've done boxing training, we've done weight training, and we've also settled somewhere in the middle with movement training, flexibility, and mobility work that I do as well on him. So the ultimate goal is just to find like-minded individuals, feed off each other, and add people into our network, because we want to be the answer. When people have a question, we want to be the answer at which they can go. So whether it's older or younger men that come here and they need a place to go to connect with other men and just feel good, Anthony has an amazing atmosphere inside of his shop, very clean, organized, has a really cool vibe to it, and he's always giving out wisdom. He's funny, great personality, but you're leaving with a fresh cut as well. So don't be afraid to hit him up or hit us up for us to connect us to him. And now let's hear his question.
What do you got for us, bro?
All right. So in my business, right, obviously people go to work to make money, okay? But it's not the ultimate goal. My reasoning for going to work, my fulfillment for going to work every day, my self-fulfillment, right, is to, it sounds very simple, but to give people like just a good haircut. And I say that because I've struggled with getting like a haircut a certain way, or the way I want it, right? So when I get my haircuts, I'm not fulfilled. I'm missing something. So because I'm missing that feeling, I give that feeling. I make sure I give that feeling to everyone that gets a haircut from me. Right? It's like I'm filling a void by giving it back to people. My question to you guys is, what's your self-fulfillment in your business? Like when do you take the money out of it? What's your self-fulfillment in your daily day?
That is a great question. And I'm going to highlight what he means by, I'm going to elaborate on his good haircut. What he means, good morning, Julie. What he means by giving that good haircut is just as simple as he wants you to feel fulfilled when you leave his shop, right? So it is just simple that it's a haircut, but for some people like ourselves, that sets the tone for your day, for your week, for your life, for whatever you do, of feeling fresh and feeling clean, right? Just like anything else, from the clothes that you're wearing, to the shoes that you're wearing, to the cleanliness of your space, people live and operate at a high level. So for us, for me at least, what fulfills me is seeing my members, but also specifically my clients or anyone that I interact with and give something off to, for them to utilize it in their life and for it to work and for it to bring them a point of growth, whatever it may be, long-term or short-term growth. And that puts a smile on my face and makes me keep doing what I'm doing, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off it. Like Paul said, we've had a podcast. We spoke upon the dedication to taking care of yourself first, right? So I'll go back to that of just taking care of yourself in all different ways. So like Paul said, it highlights on us having a certain standard for ourselves. Right?
He said those fades are clean.
It's that level of it's the level of operation, and he gives us that feeling of saying, hey, you know, go out there, boys, go get them, you know, and he gives that to us week in and week out, and he's extremely consistent. We both, all three of us, take pride in the level of consistency, right? Being consistent. It's one thing to be able to do something great. It's another thing to do something great consistently day in and day out. And I think what the way you could do that is because of that. The like-mindedness that we all share is based upon his question, right? Like, if someone, I think it's an exciting thing because it's happening now more than ever, but people come to us and they're like, hey, I don't know what to do. And the question that comes after that is like about anything. Like, it's life, it's fitness, it's this, it's that. And listen, we don't know everything, but I think what fulfills us is having people come to us and us allowing us to help them work through to find a solution. Right. So I think what it comes down to is embracing life's adversities and saying, hey guys, look, we definitely don't know everything, but what we do know is that if we put our head down and work hard and overcome adversities and surround ourselves with like-minded individuals, we could find a solution to this and get to the other side, learn, grow, and evolve from the experience, and then want to share them, right? And then we share them out with each other, and that's how we constantly all keep growing. So I think it's being able to watch humans grow. There's nothing greater in the world than seeing someone who might not believe in themselves in this moment, you saying, no, you got this, and then them accomplishing it and completing it and being like, oh my God, it's the greatest feeling in the world, and then they want to give it out, and then this is where we are today, is in this movement has been created and surrounding ourselves with people like Anthony.
Beautiful.
So, thank you,
Anthony, great question, man. Go and attack your day. We're going to close this podcast up and finish it off a little, and we'll catch up with you a little later. Thanks for the cuts, man. How does it look? Clean? We look clean?
Brings a smile to my
Yeah, there we go, baby.
That's it, baby.
Awesome. Later, brother.
Tanga. Thank you very much, Ant.
Have a good day, boys.
Let's get it.
So I think that's a beautiful question for us to finish off at, to bring things to a close. We had a great morning here. Again, we're at the Relentless Training Facility. We still have great flow going on in here. You've got to meet and hear from a lot of amazing people that have been part of our movement, from coaches to members. From coaches to members. So what I want to do here is remind everybody that we are live on Facebook. You could go back and rewatch it. We will share it. We are still live on Facebook. If you have any questions following up, feel free to go on that feed and ask. What we are going to do now is a little call to action. We will be putting a post up in the next week or so, and we will be asking for Instagram/Facebook questions that will be typed in and sent in for our next Relentless Q&A, the Relentless Way episode. So thank you again for your time. Ralph, awesome work. We're going to catch up with you in a little bit. Ralph was a guest on our podcast a couple episodes back. Thank you for your time. Thank you for tuning in. Episode number 10, the Relentless Way podcast. Go and crush your day. Go get it.
Let's keep getting it.